Here we go, guys. First game between Antox and Oladusek. This is the Gold Division final of Mid-ELO Mayhem. And the way it works is that there are two map pools, one to decide the first game and one for the home maps. And for the first game map pool, you are going to discard maps, ban maps until there's only one left. Nothing to be sorry about. Holy Roman Viking, much appreciated. Oladusek is in the chat as well. I happen to know that Oladusek is a Nomad fan. I think he enjoys the fact that they ended up getting Nomad as the very first map here. Turks for Antox, and actually I'm not loving this starting position, but as far as Turks go and Janissaries play in the Castle Age, if you're able to get the Castle Age here as Antox with the Turks, Janissaries would be incredibly strong because Oladusek is so close. However, Oladusek, he has the Malians here, and he has a head start to the fish already because he's building costless wood, meaning that his fishing ship can be good immediately as well. Hello, Xana! Oladusek fan by the looks of it. Okay, I like how they're collecting the boars nice and early, just so they won't get lamed. I think Antox knows what's up here, because Oladusek is so close. Let me see if I can crank the sound up just a little bit here. I think that should be alright. Help a little bit at least. You probably can't hear it, but we actually have the game music here as well, which is something I'm not used to with Capture, but that's a nice touch. Yeah, so Oladusek of the Malians, he gets the head start of the fish. He's already queuing the second fishing ship as Antox is queuing the very first one. Looking at their dock placements, this is decent. You'd drop another dock further up north and you could make use of the deep fish. Same here in that Oladusek side. And their docks are fairly close as well, so if their scouting is on point, they would know that it's fairly easy to engage in fights. Actually, Oladusek has that scouted, so that's pretty darn good early scouting by Oladusek here. Great start for the Malians in that regard. But since this is Nomad and the start is relatively slow, I'll take the liberty of zooming out or fast forwarding a little bit as Oladusek brings in his second or possibly third board. Does he even know about? He doesn't know about this one. He doesn't know about this one. That's fascinating. But he's found two boards regardless. He's had fantastic multi-purpose low elo legend mining camp here, but it's not low elo. These guys are Oladusek at least in the, what should we say, 1800s, 1900s even, maybe touch upon 2k. And he wants to drop the second dock right before hitting the feudal age here, quite close to Antox, and actually sandwiching Antox's dock in between his own two docks. Antox just clicked the feudal age. Oladusek is only 15 seconds away. It's going to be brutal with the feudal age setting in. Antox can absolutely not invest into more fish here, and he's going to lose the fish before he has the food required to reach the next stage as well. Oladusek now confirms that this is indeed Antox's place. Antox looks to be wanting to go archers in the feudal age here, because he's dropping the barracks right now, as Oladusek attempts a little bit of a wall in here. Two fire galleys in the queue for the blue player. From both sides, of course, because you'll sandwich in the fish and prevent Antox from escaping. Antox probably not happy to see Oladusek's dock down here. It means that the fire galley that is about to pop out will easily be able to track the movements of these fish. But regardless of their movement and if they survive, they're still not going to bring in food, and Antox will need to look for more efficient food sources here. Is both playing water with the fire galleys and towers here, and again the food economy of Antox really isn't close enough for Oladusek to benefit from. Oh, it's Antox will not be able to go straight Castle Age here. Not that that seems to be the plan, but if there was an idea of FC going on here, That's not gonna apply. Seep the tower. Will prevent the villagers from escaping. That's pretty nice move, actually. Oh, it traps them! Nice move from Anthox here. Traps the two building villagers, will easily tear down the tower before it becomes anything more than a distraction, and it's preparing the archery range to pump out some archers to prevent further towers as well. I'd have to say good defense here from Anthox. The fish back at work, hopefully, soon here. Woladyshek, of course, will be tracking them, but Anthox now has the dock close to its starting TC, so you could actually use the TT to deal with the naval armies of Woladyshek as well. Meanwhile, Woladyshek has the fish working freely. He's added some more as well. I think he has 6 fish total. He might even drop a third dock here as the game goes on to further boost that fish income. Blacksmith coming up for Anthox here, wants to get fletching in for these archers, whereas Woladyshek's barracks is going up as well. He might just not need to go into skirmishes here. He could actually go into men-at-arms here if he'd like to, but I'd assume he wants to go more straight towards the castle edge here. He's dropping the stable. That would be the second building Woladyshek needs to get up to the next stage. And the way he's placing them, one house foundation here, and Anthox needs to loop the whole way around. Fire galley is out. I love how Woladyshek isn't over-investing here either. He knows he was much earlier to the fuel age, so he made only 2 fire galleys. He's forcing Anthox to invest into water, but in fact remains that Woladyshek has the food sources working more freely. Only criticism I have is that he didn't find his boar earlier, because that would really boost the early food income significantly. Knock knock. Who's there? Cold fight in the chat. Hello. Defensive tower here against the archer's play. I kind of like that. He's going to be able to mine stone for additional TCs or further towers anyway. The archers still no fletching for Anthox. That's certainly expensive to go into, considering that you have been investing into fire galleys here as Anthox. Did Woladyshek lose any? The eco KD is 2-2, but the fish up north might be going down as well. So great aggression here from or defense and counter measures for Anthox here. This tower should put a stopper to the archer's aggression though. You just place some kind of building foundation here, and then you kill that boar. Did Anthox kill the boar? Yeah, he probably did, because I don't see any boar being eaten here. Not bad. Overall, Anthox is actually way ahead in economy now. Still has the 7 fish, he conserved those somehow. Whereas Woladyshek keeps queuing fish, he's got 3 docks producing them, so he might catch up. Oh, the TC killed the boar, okay, yeah. Well, whoever killed the boar, there's still no food to benefit from there, so that sets back Woladyshek a bit, but he's going castle age. He's with 13 on stone, so I think he just wants to castle drop Anthox and end it. How are you, Akkal? I'm doing alright, thank you. I just returned from Stavanger, where I've been working this week, so now I'm back home in Oslo. A little bit here and there, as a freelance musician. Great value from the archers. Oh, you're from your home city, Stavanger. Nice. I'm going back there in December as well to play Harry Potter film music live with the film. So we're playing the orchestra music, but with the movie going behind us. So that's kind of a cool thing. The tower from Anthox here didn't lose the dock, but probably won't be investing anything more into the water now. Woladyshek has multiple docks. He's also reaching the castle age. He's about to be able to. He'll be able to drop. He could drop the castle here. He could drop the. Woladyshek could drop the castle here, and Anthox will. His best bet would be to place towers to stop. Well, he has the archers. He has the archers actually. So that's admittedly a kind of a concern for Woladyshek. Let's have a quick look at their ranks. Oops. Very defensive castle for Oladusek, but it is definitely going to keep the archers out. It strikes me as a bit of a panic castle, but I guess he could accomplish things with Geppettos here as well. Should be a quick and nice raiding unit. Could also add a few just in case Antox adds any spearmen here against the knights. Not that he would. Turk's spearmen can't be upgraded to pikes, but just speaking my mind here. I guess Geppettos will deal nicely with the archers before they become crossbows as well. Let's try Oladusek now. Yeah, Oladusek shows up. It's 1893. I'm going to have to look up Antox after this then, since it doesn't seem to have recent only ones. Geppettos in the queue. These bad women, they have a 5 range and fast movement speed and high attack, so... but I guess Antox has different plans for the next age. It's going to stone now. Oladusek will not allow that easily, and it's going to deny the Turks of the opportunity to drop castles and Janissaries here. Castle Age pops in. Well, it does add some spears, but the Geppettos should be able to handle that. The archers matching the range of the Geppetto here. Oladusek queuing a few more. It's also assuming full control of the water, as Antox is looking for other sources of food to boost the fishing food income. Another range going up as well. Crossbows are in now, so it's going to be an extended crossbow play then, probably. You don't easily deal with castles in Castle Age, so Antox needs to somehow escape and expand here. That's easier said than done with the mobility of the Geppettos and knights out on the field here. Deny the gold as well. Actually, that knight could be fought off by villagers. It was so low HP. But Varian is still getting value up there. Now Geppettos won't work against the archers line anymore because the crossbows outrange them. If your crossbow Vicor is on point, that should be a good response to the Geppettos. 2 more range, and of course easier to mass than the Geppettos. Oladusek's castle ranges the range of Antox though, so that's going to cripple the archers' production a little bit, because wood is also in short supply here. You could place the Geppettos on the other side here and you range the lumberjacks. But of course they're looking for maximum damage output on the golds and whatnot here. They're getting quite a few kills in here. 17 to 10 is the eco KD situation as Oladusek drops his second town center on the stone and gold here, just further at least trying to protect from the crossbow aggression, forcing the crossbows to target either villagers or Geppettos here. What are we doing here? The military situation is ahead for Antox. Is Antox reclaiming water here? I mean, surely Oladusek has lots of things to attend to on land. He's still trying to create army series going into squires, so that means that... well, I guess it benefits the Geppettos, but it will benefit any long swords as well, should he choose to go into that. I'm amazed at Antox's eco situation here, that it's actually matching Oladusek still, after all this pressure that Oladusek has put on with the admittedly match earlier feudal age. Crossbows getting value, of course. 5 kills for this group as well. 5 eco kills, no? 1 eco kill, 5 kills. But with the TC and the power there, it's going to be harder for the crossbows to deal proper damage. Suppose Oladusek could wall up here and here as well, and expand a little bit to the south to extend the economy a bit. But for now, the crossbows just move in and do their thing here. What's going on up north? Ampox with higher ship upgrade. That seems an odd one. But I guess it's about lacking the numbers that he wants more hit points. And is that a double siege workshop? No, it's just one siege workshop with a Mangonel. Good response to the crossbows, of course. Antox now with 3 on stone, so we'll eventually be able to drop more town centers or a castle, depending. They're both adding Mangonels as well. Antox, having seen Oladishek's Mangonel popping out here, will it get a nice hit in there? Great, that's 2 crossbows down for nothing. Good trade for Oladishek there. He will be meeting up with Antox's Mangonel though, so he keeps it defensively close to home instead. Here we go. Mangonel survives. It's 2 Mangonels for Anpox, but it's awkward for the Mangonels to move out there. 1 going down to the castle pair. That's huge. That's lots of wood and gold down the drain for Antox here, who is making good efforts on water, but Oladishek is adding more docks to shorten the traveling distance of the fish and further extend the food eco. You'll see Oladishek only 6 farms here. He's relying on the fish food eco to keep producing villagers and any food intensive units. He's been mining stone like a madman though, and he's going to add another castle, which could, given the army support now, could potentially go right in the pace of Antox over here. Would be a beautiful spot over here to deny the golds and stones, for example. But when Mangonel goes down as well, here comes the second castle right next to his first one. But it should still be ranging a little bit of this TC and more importantly allow for doubling up on the Geppetto production, which seems to be Oladishek's main unit of choice here. Geppettos cost food and gold, so ideally Oladishek will want to double up on the food income. The new dock has been added. These fishing ships are... yeah, fire ships, these small efforts on water Vantox is really getting value here. Oh, little quick gate there to keep the Mangonel out. Oladishek pushing the one and... no, not the one and only. One of Anthox's TCs. Mangonel stays alive. Good save there by Oladishek, getting another villager kill. 28 to 21 here. Two Mangonels now, that's dangerous for the crossbows. They're trying to get the hit in, but there's always the castle to fall. But how did that Mangonel not take damage at all? That's fascinating. Oladishek expanding to the north as well, now taking the far away hunt. But I kind of like that fast food source to make it easier to mass more Geppettos or whatever your unit of choice might be. Is going to mine more stone over here, presumably as well. 2 TCs for both, 64 to 49 for Oladishek though, so he's definitely in the equal lead now, and he's keeping Antlox's armies at a minimum as well. What's that woman doing? That's so sneaky! 1 Geppetto sneaking up in the goal there. 2... No, she's not taking out that Mangonel. That's 1 more shot. And that Geppetto would have taken out the Mangonel. 5 Geppettos, and apparently you could take out the Mangonel because they have 10 attack. Scary unit. One for one there. Geppettos following suit. I don't know why they're targeting the blacksmith, but that would delay any upgrades for a tech switch. Yeah, that's the thing. Mangonel's on minimum range. If you get the Geppettos close enough, they'll slay the Mangonel without the Mangonel being able to hit them. Great villager kills coming in there. 35-27, so to be fair, Oladishek is losing villagers left and right as well. Crossbow group over here. doing some work. But all in all, I'd say the Malians player is in a better position. They both have about half their eco working efficiently, and but Wladusek is in the middle and in a better position to expand, I'd say. Here comes the Mangonel again to get the hit in. There it is. Adbox realizing it's falling too far behind here. It's about 1100 points, not that that's what matters here. Geppetto's probably not ideal against crossbows, but in Wladusek's case it worked out. The stationary defensive of the castle is just too much for Adbox to handle, who probably needed to spend that stone for a couple of towers to try and deny Wladusek of resources and additional TCs, as he was pressured at home as well. And never got to the castles and the Janissaries, which in the Turks' case can be really strong on Nomad. Let's have a look here for the statistics. For Galley, I didn't quite understand that, but I guess it's about the numbers and having a better damage and hit points output for your naval armies. And to be fair, they did damage. There were fishing ships going down for Wladusek. Actually, we could have a look at the eco situation here, isn't there? Yeah, for example, the fishing ship stats here, right? Wladusek falling behind a little bit here because of the displacement of the fire galleys attacking Anthox's. Anthox didn't really lose any until after he replaced the dock and continued fishing, so that's some that's probably good place to start. Total the eco military, yeah. Society score showing 2 castle for Wladusek, none for Anthox with the Turks here. And yeah, APM charts for those interested. Let's see if we can find game number 2, which will be Anthox's home map, first home map at that. Pull up the draft here for the Persians and Malians for Wladusek, so he was set for Nomad, that's for sure. See you around, Holy Roman Viking. Det var en tidig kveld, du. Game 2. Anthox's home map. We are going to African Clearing. We're going to another Nomad start here after taking a beating, or I was fairly even, but Wladusek winning in the end. Still it goes for African Clearing, which is a Nomad start. Let's have a look at this one. Anthox with the Chinese. Once the TC has been completed, Anthox will get an additional 3 villagers, which should be strong on African Clearing because of the shorefish. You will not struggle nearly as much for food in the start as the Chinese as on many other maps, because the fish collects so quickly. It's among the fastest food sources in the game. Wladusek settling somewhere near the middle. He'll have to expand to the sides for continued wood access as the game goes on, but he has a little bit around his TC, so it doesn't need to rush that. TC right on the gold could be useful as well. He's gone with good jars here, Wladusek, which means that for each sheep he garrisons inside of his mills, he'll get some food trickle. And there are quite a few sheep on this map. Sheep, not sheeps, but sheep. So you could definitely get some proper advantage food trickle from the mills of the good jars if you find enough sheep around here. But for the start of the game you need to use them for scouting, obviously. And as you spot your opponent's resources, you'll also be losing potentially losing some sheep that way. I think since it's another nomad start, we'll crank it up a little bit, keep an eye on the scouting. Let's have a look at Antox's scouting, for example. Seems to have found quite a few sheep as well, so they're getting some nice overview of the map. Kind of funny to see berries on African clearing, because it usually isn't. Logic bringing in the hunt here, also got a mill on the fish here and bringing in sheep to get that beautiful tiny food trickle of the Gujars. Look at the food situation here. He's got fewer on food, but he's got more food in the bank, and it's going up at a whooping 18 population here. Logic is, I can only assume he wants to go scouts at this point with this kind of early uptime as the Chinese player going up at 24 pop. That's more of a fast castle style approach. Logic does have the barracks up, does not have the wood for the stable just yet, but is right around the corner. Is still going to get a couple of scouts out nice and early here. Whereas Anpox knows what's up. He's seen the early uptime. He's semi-walled his home area here and should be able to keep the scouts out even without spearmen with some clever walling here. But he will be sandwiched in the corner as well. So if Udalchek starts pressuring with a secondary unit like the archers or something like that, he's actually dropping the blacksmith. This is the infamous Gujar's spearman rush going on here. It's could be a fake path feudal into Castle Age here, because the food situation is definitely on the higher side here for Logic. He gets he could have gotten the eco upgrades nice and early here, but I guess he just wants to scout and get some overview of the map. He's using builders to scout, as you can see as well over here. And the remaining sheep. How many sheep in the middle actually? 10 out of 10, and he could stack even more over here. Maybe that's what Logic is doing. He's going absolute feudal age past. He's using the spearman to scout to try and find as many sheep as possible spread across the map here. There's still more sheep to get, and he'll bring in more sheep to boost his food trickle further. He's going to collect at least 16 sheep or more here to benefit from the food income. Look at that, his fishing, and he's got that food trickle. He's going to go Castle Age soon. Admittedly, he's going to be behind Anpox to the Castle Age, but with a healthy scouting going on and that steady food trickle to allow for whatever unity feels like in the Castle Age. Quite heavy gold emphasis here for Antox. If I didn't know any better, I'd think he was going for the device, because it's very gold. Nah, it's only 9 actually. That's good for the range archers. Double range archers didn't produce a whole lot of them, but Antox seems to enjoy playing the archer's crossbow approach here. Does he know Logic's location? Is seen the berries, I guess, unless that's a capture H bug. So should be able to get some idea. But why archers? Why archers actually? Against the Gujars. Now Logic can just make Shirivamsha riders, and he cleans up the archers no problem. That's a bit of a pickle here as a Chinese. You can't play the knights because then Logic makes camels. You can't really play the archers either, because then Logic just makes the Shirivamsha riders, which he has the food and gold eco set up for, arguably because the gold cost of the Shirivamsha riders, that's rather low. Crossbows looking for damage. Output, but look at that. Shirivamsha riders in the making. 2 should be enough to clean up these crossbows, to be honest. They're fast freaking beats here. 160 movement speed. They're faster than the scout cab. That's why the arena clowns like making them actually, because you can simply outrun conversions. moving about there, just dancing around to dodge the arrows. One way or the other, these Shirahama riders can dodge arrows. They'll dodge the first projectile anyway, but if you dance around with the speed they have, it's going to be hard for the archers' crossbows to engage them without ballistics at least. Second TC for Uladishek here, Antox not really able to afford such a thing. He's investing into a few more farms here now. Not really benefiting from the fish at all, which gives Uladishek a significant advantage here. It's dropping a third TC as well on the fish over here. Still got that food trickle, I presume. Let's have a look at the sheep situation. Should be 16 sheep total, if not more. Yeah, I found a few more as well, so that's going to be 18 sheep. Pretty much already moving in. That's either a conversion for Antox or Uladishek just has to delete it. It's trapped anyway, so that's 20 gold, 70 food, or whatever they cost. Going down there, no big deal. Now going into the camels. Camels Shrivamsha mix here by Uladishek. If he needs a response to the pikemen of the Chinese, you just get a cast lap and use the unique unit of the Gujaras as well, the Chakram thrower, because they fire through units like a scorpion and have a high melee ranged attack. Siege workshop defense. Not quite enough Shrivamshas to engage here yet, no upgrades on them either. But third TC going up here for Uladishek, so he's extending, or he is going to claim an eagle. He didn't quite yet, but he probably very likely will, looking at the fact that Antox didn't complete the second TC yet. A decent chunk of crossbows for Antox. I still struggle to understand the crossbow investment from the Chinese, because Shirivamshas, if they reach a decent number and get the proper upgrades, they should easily be able to clean up the crossbows. But until Uladishek can get there, of course, the crossbow investment, I guess, will pay off. They don't have Bodkin yet though, so Antox has either not prioritized it or not been able to afford Bodkin yet, even with the Chinese technology discounts. Don't think there are any more sheep to be collected now, but as I said, Uladishek has 2 here, 6 here, that's 8, and then another 10 more over here, so he gets a very convincing food trickle from the mills at this point. It's collected enough that it makes a difference for sure. You see, Uladishek didn't see a single farm yet. He's just relying on fish and sheep in the mill trickle for the Gujaras here, and still is able to sustain a couple of downsetters working for the most part. Some idle this time, of course, but lower than Antox's, and yeah, a couple of villagers lead. Double mangonels going right in on the production of Ampox now. The crossbows could, of course, engage. If you weren't Chinese here, you could research Redemption and convert to siege weapons as well, but in the Chinese case, they don't get it. So this is becoming a unit combination that's harder and harder for Ampox to deal with. It's pulling the crossbows are way out of position here on Uladishek. Let's see. Where the hell did that come from? That's so... If Uladishek sees this, that's gonna be ridiculous. You could get a beautiful hit in there with Scorpion. I don't know what the Scorpion was doing all the way over there, but I guess Ampox will be focusing it down. Yeah. Crisis averted there as a forward catalyst going up for Uladishek. It did get a hit in on the crossbow, so a little bit of damage down there. One range down for Antox is scrambling up to University here. Will bring over the monks as well to try and delay this castle from completing, but there are mangonels here and the monks can't convert the mangonels. There's one mangonel for Antox, there's 3 from Olonchek. The Shrivamsha riders diving in as well, and the mangonel getting great value here. Antox also getting 1, but heavily out matched in army composition here. Does get a conversion in on camel. That's an easy fix for Oladechek. He just takes it out to his own units here, and this castle is just beautiful. It reaches just both of these DCs, especially if Oladechek gets pledging or Bodkin for his range units as well. Great pressure here, playing the map well from Oladechek, knowing that the opponent is sandwiched in the corner here. If he gets another castle up over here, then it's basically game over, because Antox won't be able to go anywhere. He has the crossbows out and about. He could still do some damage with those, of course, but he's attacking a mill that isn't garrisoned. So that's he's going to need to find the other ones. Armored elephants coming in here for Oladechek as well. We know that's a powerful siege weapon that attacks faster than your battering rams, even though it's supposed to be kind of the Indian Civ equivalent. Look at all the mangonels here. How is Oladechek affording all this? He must be using the market or something. It doesn't matter though. The GG is called, and Oladechek going in for a convincing 2-0 here now. And the most created unit apparently is the Shirevamsha Rider, but it was nearly matched by the mangonels here. Wouldn't trust that stat all too much either. It's sometimes bugging out a little bit. Economy is, all things considered, somewhat comparable, but fewer villagers collecting food for Oladechek, of course. It's at 13 now at minute 29, which is ridiculous if you look at the food collected here. It's collected more food, but it's most definitely had fewer villagers on food total. With 1 village max, so taking the villager lead there in the end. I don't know what this is about. Probably his first few, yeah, some APM movement going on there. Let's cross out Guriaros winning that one against the Chinese. And that leaves us with Berbers, Japanese, Burgundians, Persians, Bohemians, Lithuanians, Turks. No. Bohemians, Lithuanians, Cumans, and Khmer for and Fox. Game 3 coming up. And we have Bay with Japanese versus Lithuanians here too. Good civilization for the map, I would say. Too good, maybe too good civilizations. Here it is. This is, again, it's Oladechek versus Antox here for the mid-ELO Mayhem Gold division final. There is a modest prize pool at stake here as well, so they're definitely playing for the money. This is Bay, known from HC4 Hidden Cup 4, hosted by T90 last year. It's called a Bay because here's the Bay. There's a little bit of deep fish here to be contested. Definitely enough for it to be worthwhile taking. 450, 900, 1800 food worth of deep fish here. No shorefish, but you definitely want to claim and control it because it boosts your early game food economy, and it also gives you a strategic opportunity of maybe transporting over or doing some shenanigans on the other side. You can't not build on this shallow terrain, so that's makes it harder to wall. Otherwise you just wall like this, right? Wall to the edge of the map, and you'd have a quarter of the map secured, but not quite the case here. A little bit of scouts run in, Oladechek getting the first hit, so if that becomes a scout 1v1, Oladechek is set to win that one. Now, Lithuanians, you'll note that Antox went to wood here straight away. First thing he does is build a lumber camp. That's because Lithuanians start with 150 extra food and can just focus on wood earlier so that you'll get your dock up nice early before the Japanese here even, and get to your fish production earlier as well. This is a build order that was developed by Survivalist, I believe, to go straight with 4 or 5 builders to wood on these hybrid maps with Lithuanians. Drop your dock, pump out your fish, and set up your food economy to go fast castle based on fish oil. It works especially well on 4 lakes though, with the extra fish that are on that map. Dock is up. First fishing ship will be in production any moment now, as all other ship is also docking, but will be behind in the fish production, I think, because now the wood is there. Antbox definitely going to get that first fishing ship out slightly earlier as well, if he use it, that is. Yeah, here it is. So, about half fishing ship advantage share. No, not just a couple of percent. But in exchange, the Japanese fishing ships, they work faster. And they have twice the hit points, so they're harder to kill, and they bring in the food faster. So, Wladysek, all things considered now, is in a better spot fish income-wise. Wladysek also saves a little bit of wood through the cost of his resource drop-off points. Lumber camps, mining camps, and mills only cost 50 wood instead of 100 wood for the Japanese, so that wood savings makes it easier to get to the first few fish as well. 6 on wood for Wladysek. He wants to pump out probably 3 or 4 fishing ships before going to the fuel age here. And we'll see who starts contesting the waters first. That extra food of the Lithuanians certainly makes it easier to get up earlier as well. Both boars being brought in already. Didn't see any. I suppose you could push deer as well, but didn't see that happen here just yet. Now, as far as unit compositions go, you'll see Lithuanians often fighting for the relics to collect them to produce their knights or like this, which get extra attack from the relics. But that's kind of becomes a little bit harder against the Japanese, because the Japanese infantry attacks 33% faster, I believe. So, or 20% faster, or whatever that rate is. And it means that their halberdiers for the late game, that's absolutely going to slay any cavalry. So you have to think twice as the Lithuanians. You at the very least need a complementary unit. In the feudal and castle ages, that usually means skirmishers, because skirmishers have bonus damage against spearmen, pikemen, halberdiers. But in the Imperial Age, Lithuanians have access to hand cannoneers as well, which is something they could use to join their cavalry, so that halberdiers are less of an issue. That's expensive though, because you'll be going for a double gold investment against your opponent. Uptime's virtually similar here. It's a slightly higher idle time for Wladysek, but is compensating with 2 villagers, 2 eco units less going up here. And also dropping the second dock here. It's definitely going to be some naval fighting in the early game here. Or easy. What's this guy doing? You slacker. Standing there with your sledge and everything, and you're not working. There we go. So that's a delayed second dock for Wladysek. I'm not sure how much that matters, because it might very well complete before the fuel edge sets in here. It's only 6 seconds difference between the two, as Ampox is walling off, probably afraid of early land aggression here. There's only 2 on gold for Wladysek, maybe going to be 3, so I think that's just for the naval investments here. So, but yeah, better safe than sorry. If you have the wood to spare, then of course you could go about it. This could backfire heavily though. Handbox thinks that the backside of the base is safe and walled, and Wladysek might spot that. Will he go? If he goes over to the side to check the wood line. Ah, now he's checking. Seeing the scout pounding away at its house, now he sees that this is indeed open. Let's place a house, make sure Wladysek can't enter here. Fire galleys for both of them. There's... Ooh, I like the early demo ship added here by Amfox. Actually, he's expecting this to be a fire galley battle. And... production-wise, they're still kind of tied here. What Civ would be good to learn if someone plays a lot of arena map. I'm the wrong person to ask there. I hate arena. The only thing I do on arena is tower rush because I dislike the map so much. But there's Bohemians. There's Turks. There's yeah, Poles definitely. Poles for sure. Because if you fall behind with the Poles on arena, that folwark economy will essentially save your ass. And you have options as well. You could go Arbalists or Cavalry Spam or other things that comes to mind. Nice repair micro here from Mr. Odadeshek. He's going to bring the Fire Galley back there for repairs again. He seems to conserve the numbers nicely here. Ooh, good repairs from Antox as well. Albeit didn't get to complete them. Just some hefty naval action going on here. And similar numbers. Oh, demo hit though! Oh, that's a great demo hit potential. No! Could have gotten 3 Fire Galleys there well on the track, but unfortunately only gets the 1. That's still 1 ship going down though, and now we have fairly similar hit points between the 2 here. Antox actually a slight lead, pulls in some repair micro, somehow keeps that very low HP one alive as well. Unfortunately, it's moving forward with the others, but it's actually kind of like a meat shield amongst the others here now. Who is better keeping up behind here now? The eco situation is 30 to 31. Makes it even more important to win the waters here, because then you'll be the player left with the fish here working. So, Demo vs Demo, it's going to be 1 for 1. Easy. And now the fish of Antox will go out. 2 fish going out the demo ship there. Quick and smooth. I don't know where Wolodechek is intending to go with his forward villager. Could be just a forward power to deny the stone here, possibly, as Antox is dropping a market, probably to adjust the resources a little bit here. May need to sell stone at some point to buy food and go cast Lage. The offensive market for Wolodechek here, and is adding the archers as well. This would act as the second building. Wolodechek needs to go cast Lage as well. He now has the faster working Japanese fishing ships, which, thanks to the extra hit points as well, would survive these early fights better. 3 docks for Wolodechek here as well, setting up for the later game fish move. Only 1 dock producing fire galleys, so that could backfire for Wolodechek here, looking at the number of fire galleys and the demo inside of Antox's stock here. So Antox does not give up on water. He does not want the Japanese faster working fishing ships to keep collecting here. There's not that much deep fish to consider here though, but you could still, if you control this little bay here, you could also seed or make fish traps and bring in some extra food that way, which is very hard to raid unless you insist on getting back on water. Bracket, yeah, I don't have a command for that one. It's called at least this is permanent. But here are the brackets. It's different divisions, 2 gold divisions and 2 silver divisions, and then platinum and bronze. Archers moving out now, realizing that they could just pass on the shallows here. That's the should we say it's a fun bit of this map, that it's harder to waltz the... Thanks, honey buddy. yeah, you're welcome. No flashing for these archers. Not sure what Wolodechek's follow-up is going to be here. Plays is stable as well, actually. He's going Bloodlines. He is playing cavalry against the Lithuanians, which is frankly quite fascinating. But, I mean, he could still pass through here with the Knights, and he could play that mobility and really catch Antox off guard with the cavalry investment here. That's one that Antox won't expect. What's your favorite kind of maps? Open land maps that are impossible to wall are my favorites. But I play all the maps. I don't really ban maps in ranked. I ban maps just to get a different map. So I start a ranked session with no bans, and then if I get Arabia, I ban Arabia so I get a different map the next one, and etc. etc. Oh, I'm 1362 now. It's been a while since I was there. It's been a while since I played. Blab Jared in the chat. Welcome, my friend. Look at this tanky Japanese fish ships. Extra armor as well. And twice the hit points. Ridiculous. They're unkillable. At this point, I have to say I feel like Antox is making a mistake trying to get back on water. You don't want to give Japanese that advantage, but you need to think about catching up somehow as well. Already a little back foot here. You could make an argument that forcing Olodrzyk to keep investing on water is going to cripple whatever other land unit he goes for as well. Monastery going up here for both of them, so there might be some conversion back and forth. Antox is dead, is he not? Yeah, I mean... he is in a rough spot, but so far he's only lost his fish and maybe a couple of villagers. He doesn't really have the eco for a response though, and he couldn't predict Olodrzyk's stables switch here. Otherwise he would have been able to go into the... he wouldn't have invested into the stable at all. And he could have gone into spears instead, because the Lithuanian spears, they move a little bit faster as well, so it's easier to keep up. But yeah, you can see the rough spot is sandwiched in his side of the map again, like in the previous Nomad game, and Olodrzyk is staying 1 pound center and applying some serious pressure on Antox's home base here. He is in a kjemperough spot, yes. Second monastery going up here as well. I think that makes sense. There's still gold in the bank. You could get conversions in. Heck, you could even consider getting redemption here, which will kick in faster because of the 20% faster Lithuanian monasteries. There we go. He's getting redemption. He wants to convert the siege weapons of Olodrzyk. No relics. I don't think it's the play here. You'll have to move out on the peel, and Olodrzyk has the map control, so he'll just track your monks collecting the relics down. And with his mobility. To be fair, he didn't scout all that much of the map though. So redemption is in. That has to be catching... I was about to say Plek Chariot, but that has to be catching Olodrzyk off guard here. Losing the units to conversion here. He's getting sanctity for his monks. Hope it turns into an atonement battle. I'm not too sure about that. Olodrzyk now adding the light cab as well. He has the eco for it because he has had the fish working. Now he might need to invest into fish traps though, and I think it's a bit too early for that. He needs the wood for siege and other weapons, but he's been relying on the fish food. He's seeded a few farms, but the food economy is suffering a little bit here now. I think Pleb Chariot is called Plek Chariot in-game. And he's in the 1300s. Well, 1300s like me. But he also doesn't play that frequently the one we want, so that plays in as well. So strong siege aggression here, adding the rams instead of the mangonauts now means that the monks, they can still convert them, but you need to get close enough. You need to stand right next to the ram to convert them, and Olodrzyk's light cav are not going to allow that to happen. I prefer the one who wants much less drama. No teammates to let down or to provoke you. Both players adding light cab here. Monk's trying to get some conversions in. Oladocek actually pulling away. He's taking a long distance hunt as well. He does have the map control because he is forcing Antox to react to home base, and his mobility denies Antox expansion against the map as well. Where are the Japanese pikemen? Why would they add them? He's doing fine here. That's a conversion, isn't it? Well, it's light cab, it takes time to convert it, but I didn't have expected that to pop in as a conversion. So Antox is hanging in here. He is behind by 12 villagers in economy now, but technically speaking he's ahead in military. Looking at the situation here, he could convert these forward buildings because he has monks with redemption. He is pulling back, as Oladocek's armies are only monks and rats at this point. But this obviously he's bought himself lots of time to establish an economy at home. He's made the fish traps as well. He most certainly has a healthier economy running behind all of this, and he's not too far off being able to place his second town center either. Conversions kicking in here in Antox's favor. Antox is fighting his way back here. Oh! Looks like Oladocek has atonement. Yeah, I don't care about improving really, I just play. Do stupid stuff and get away with it half of the time. That's my playstyle. Rip Monk. So this is a drain on Antox's gold income. It doesn't seem to be a disaster yet, because he still has the main goal over here. He's holding on at home base, but he's failing to keep up with the economy of Oladocek here, who has 4 fish and 49 pikes. And speaking of the Japanese pikes, take Chariot, here they come. Which again will force Antox into an additional unit to deal with those somehow. I think Chariot was right actually, it's turning into an atonement battle. Wow. Now is not the time to make a second TT4 ready, in my opinion. He could get away with it. It would have to be over here or something, right? It would have to be away from the action, because Oladocek is kind of tunnel visioned on Antox's home map now. If it deleted the house and moved over here, or maybe all the way over here, he would be able to establish a somewhat secure TT to the side, but he's behind. He's not going to be able to catch up anytime soon either, as Oladocek is adding another siege workshop more forward. Now with pikes to fortify the bush and a decent chunk of monks as well. Let's have a quick look at the upgrades here. Oh, that's the GG apparently. Both with atonement, redemption for Antox. But Oladocek breaks through. He is well ahead in economy. Takes the 3-0, so congratulations to Oladocek for winning the gold division. A quick browse through the stats here, and convincing equally 3,000 war resources collected for Oladocek here, 947, 945. Comparable lap times, all things considered. Antox holding on nicely, but falling behind in economy, unfortunately. 10 villagers behind in the end. This game just proves that monks are the ideal AoE unit. I wouldn't say so. Fishing ships are the ideal AoE 2 unit. Just bringing in food without you needing to think about them. But GG's indeed.